different businesses. I had a Aaron Farmer sent me, what do you call that, Charlotte? Plat of all the businesses that he, vacant lots, and then I added on lots to it, so he's drawing that plat of the businesses we can post online of what's available and things like that. And we have our own role of vacant lots, vacant buildings, future buildings that we can talk to owners, like I've talked to some owners that have houses on 181 that will convert them. So that's where we're at, and we have a meeting set up with one of them. I don't think I've told Charlotte, so hopefully next month.
With one of the businesses you mentioned?
Yeah, so we gotta get, our meeting, what's today? Today's Monday. I'm meeting this week with one of the business owners that has a pre-existing business there, got a house that people said, oh, what? And then he's like, he was on his dozer. He's like, oh, wait, so we're meeting this week. And what? I'll tell you. So once we get it done, and that'll be a perfect place. And then I have the developer, I have the corporation developer, and the broker all set to go on that spot.
Awesome.
And then the other one, we have the same thing, and his assistant hasn't called me back yet to set a date for him to come down. So on 2 areas of Floresville, we have over, I'll tell you that one, Doug Shoemaker, because he's already come to us and we advertised. They want that drive-through section of his new strip center right there, for a drive-through section right there on Tiger 11th Street, next to J.C. Sueberger, so we can push that building along. And their broker, he was real cool, because he was like, he was really nice, and he goes, I want to lease all 5 spots out for you, because Doug was like, well, I got to have 3 leased out in order for the bank to give me the funding. He goes, well, I can get all 5 of them leased out, because he got 3 of them with people he just represents. But he said he wants to make it bigger, because the house behind it's for sale, and then maybe he can up to 10 little places in there. So they're working on that. So it's good work.
Where's that location?
Next to J.C. Superburger, they took out 10 of those portable, like the storage units.
Oh, yeah.
Across from the new taco place, J.C. Superburger, Circle K, J.C. right there. So out of that retail live, 2 of them are on the hook for 2020, hopefully.
Okay, go ahead.
Rural Business Development Grant. I wanted to bring this stuff out. I was gonna make copies. As I go places with Henrietta, we just write on stuff. So quick update on them. They have a great program that we want to get out, and that's why I want to create these events. So when we have these events, we can put this information out there. It's hard to get this information out there. So we want to put these flyers out there. So our town, this is where we're unique, is Wilson County, but Floresville in general, we're considered into the very low section for funding. So the low, not the very low, but the low. So if you have a single teacher that makes less than $56,800, they can get a loan from the USDA to buy a brand new house up to $287,960 at 3.125%. I mean, and if you have an elderly person over 62, they're almost automatically qualified. So as we get anybody over 62, they get up to a free $10,000 grant to redo their plumbing, their roof, their windows, whether it's not weatherization, so anything, their facade. They get a free grant for $10,000. They can get a loan. This is the unique part of it. They can get a loan. They double the price, so you can get a loan up to $40,000. So you can get $50,000 total, but for a $40,000 loan,
But on the grant, how much?
$10,000.
And what are the requirements or qualifications for that?
Your age?
62 or over, and
Not for me, but I'm.
yeah.
Nice, 62, and what's the income?
The income.
Income.
So income. So say you have 2 people in your house. If you bring home, minus medical bills, because they pull all that stuff out. If you bring home less than $56,800, or if you're a grandparent raising 2, like say there's 3 kids you raised, if you bring home less than $75,000, so it's 1 to 4, they got to bring home less than $56,800. 5, 6, 7, and 8, they got to bring less than $75,000, and they take the medical expenses and all this other stuff out, and then that's the hard number they get. They can get a $10,000 grant to improve their house.
How long does it take?
Once we get the first 2 or 3 wins, we're going to put together like a package of what it's like.
You said it takes anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks.
And you get to pick your own contract.
Yeah, and you don't gotta have one bid, so you get a contractor, you roll them through, and he says, as soon as they get, but you gotta have a contractor that can do the $10,000 worth of work, and then he said the check is sitting in his vault, I go out there, I look at it, I bring the check to the contractor and the thing, they sign it over, and they're done.
We need to really push that.
So,
The thing that was really exciting is that they used to have a location here in Florida.
and he said he would knock them out, but then when they moved them,
Like, he's like 10, so he said like 10, 12 years ago, he used to do like 4 or 5 years a year in Floresville. But since they moved to
they don't do
Seguin,
none.
they haven't done any.
But we have to hold these events and show this for our rooftops. And not only that, but like say you wanna get a loan, so you wanna get, a $10,000 grant, but you wanna do more, right? So you wanna do your plumbing and everything, you can get a loan up to $40,000 at 1%. So every $1,000 you spend, you only have to pay back $4.60.
And they
So
make
if you
a
take
20-year
a 20-year note on it,
Even if you're 62.
maybe you're 62, and if
That's really
if you sell the house and they owe like 5,000 back, they're like, oh, we don't ask for it.
I think
So-
you got a little bit too much in the back.
So 40 times 4.60, your payment's $184 a month for $50,000 worth of work to your
Henrietta,
house.
how do you, okay, Ben, how do you tell the people, your
I-
citizens about this?
So that's what we have to do,
Are you
some
gonna
campaigns.
have, are you gonna have a billboard, or you gonna, can you imagine if we could have someone like
They used to do road
knock
shows,
on doors?
so we can do road shows, we can invite people to the event center, which doesn't help. But where do you give this? If we don't have national night outs, we don't do these
Google
shopping events.
nights, Google,
That's where you
and
gotta go
then
out.
your national
I'm
night.
hoping that we can get some people, identify some people, so if you know anybody who really wants to do that, so that we can sit down and help them fill out a paper.
And they give
Let me show you.
awards.
I have two people. This is the application.
It's long,
That's what scares people off for USDA. This is the application.
but once we
But
get
we
it,
help, and
and
once
then we're gonna
somebody
black out people's name and they know what they gotta
Is there any
get.
limit? I mean, up to a certain number they can apply, or?
No, unlimited. If we have if you had a section of 10 people, all 10 of them could apply. There's no one applies for it.
Nobody applies
They're-
because
they're- and if you
it
apply for it,
scares them.
Is there a representative
Yes.
locally?
He's
that
at a
can
Seguin
help?
that used to be here,
I
but
know.
he'll drive here and help them.
He said if we get enough people that
Bilingual?
are serious to do it, yes.
So
Bilingual.
who's advertising this, or do we have
See,
anybody?
the federal
It's gotta be-
government has this program, but they don't have any money to advertise.
So we
So
have,
what we wanna
No,
do
but why
is to,
can the city do something?
yeah, we're gonna, as
we
a
wanna put it
partnership.
together.
But we're just telling you about it right now.
But this
Yeah,
group,
no, I'm
because
sure.
housing one of your things, I know one of your things you wanna do, so we can put it together, start having, so we have a couple successes where people get this done, then we wanna make sure.
We're gonna do pamphlets
that-
and pick before and after photos and just get it out there.
So this is a positive thing, which is why I think, going back to your football thing, which is important, people need to put a name with a face with
Why don't you
FEDC.
get a couple
And
of
then we start seeing these
the
FED
neighbors
projects,
and
then we'll see the
Talk about
positive.
Do they get the money before the work starts or
So
after the
what's
work
the
is
age?
finished?
The money goes to
Is
the
it just for
contract.
seniors?
No, it's for, like, for example, Charlotte's daughter's a single teacher right now, she can go get a loan for, she can buy a
You get to pick
$150,000
your
house
own
for
contract, so you get to pick
3.25%
your colors and you
right
can
now.
pick, you know,
You don't have to go through a bank, you go through them, they do it right
yes.
And what's the minimum requirements of salary?
56.8. So all your police officers that
If
you
you're
hire,
making less, let's
Yeah.
say you're making 35.
yeah, no, you can make up to that, you can make up to 56.8.
Can we all have a copy of that one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my son, let me take a
Yeah,
picture.
so all the officers that we hire in the city, all our teachers that we hire, we just, we want to be able to like, give this to the right people, give it to the chief,
Yes,
give it
to
to the
your
superintendent,
teachers.
give it to them, and that way, they can go build a house up to $287,000, a new one.
Consider income, that's a
Yeah,
good
and it drives your rooftop.
Can they buy one that's
Yeah,
not
you can,
new?
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
You
You
put
can
your house,
buy,
oh,
you
let-
do.
We need to tell someone to step to the city.
She's quite your real
Yes.
estate.
Yeah, so we're gonna have
Your
a
house?
seminar.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Right now, I'm having
Yeah.
it appraised.
I got mine done.
Yeah, I already did.
And I got a couple of-
And you've already been, someone's already been through it, like a couple of them. So,
Ways of-
phase two, let me go to, let's segue to part two. So that's the USDA part. So where I'm excited about is the Rural Business Development Grants part of it. So, this sheet I wrote all over, there's all different kinds of things. So, we talked about, the Muniz property downtown, right? They have what they call rural business incubators. So, you can apply for a grant. He said if I did $50,000 to $100,000, she'd approve me tomorrow, because no one's doing this. So as a rural business incubator, we can apply for a grant up to, I wanna go for like $300,000 to go, it allows you to purchase a building. You don't have to put my salary up, no matching funds. purchase a building downtown. One day a week, that building is used for a training center to teach people how to do like Texas workforce. They teach them how to do payroll, they teach them QuickBooks, and then I could hire like, I don't know what, like your expertise, Jake, what is your expertise in your job right now?
Retirement,
Well, when you did work.
Fire.
When you did work.
fire.
So you're a firefighter, so you may have an expertise on, I don't know what you did as a firefighter. Dang. Roy's a good one, I know Roy. Roy's financial, so he can talk about budgeting, right? Not saying I'm gonna hire Roy,
He can
but I
talk
can,
about CPR.
well, yeah, first aid. So you can hire people to come teach these classes, and you do like a 6-week course, so it's all tied towards businesses. And then, if we get the right business, I'm trying to identify right now, the middle section of it can be what they call, for the mom and pop businesses that sell from their house to try to get them a storefront. So every Thursday, they get a storefront where they can go sell their reefs or their tiles or their Young Living or their Avon or their Peppered Chef. So that's the first, every Thursday they get a storefront and you're driving footprint downtown. And then the other part, you can fix up, remodel, and lease it to one of those businesses that want to get a low rent so they can own their own business. So they can, and then you can get renewed for 3 years on this, so we can get 300,000 the first year, 100,000, 100,000. And with no money matching, it just, they give it to you, and it's really unique. There's some other things, we talked about rural transportation improvement, so that we could see a future grant. And then, we talked about, if that one didn't work, as we move forward, because we gotta sit down with them, Henrietta, and
It's
this,
not due until next week,
to the spring. But we're trying to get ahead of it, so I have a copy of the application, so we can get all the most points and get approved. There's some other things, like Uvalde used the grant last year, and they took their water line from their city to their industrial park, because the wells went out, and they gave them $300,000 to put a new water line in. So like as we do the sewer line that goes up north, we can do some different things like that. So I just want to give y'all, this is already begun to start. We went up to Seguin, me and Henrietta, and we had a great, as you can see, you're already getting information. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take a lot of grassroots. It's going to take a lot of us talking to the community members and get success stories, spending some of those marketing dollars to tell them what we're doing.
Ben, let me add to this. There's some areas of town that, some of the houses aren't in the best. What if we made some type of agreement and replace some of those houses with something like this? Is that?
Yeah, I mean, that's what the guy said. He goes, you could sell your house or tear it down, but there's a financial aspect of it. So as we learn those ins and outs on how to do it, you can't sell it and have so much because it's got to only be worth so, but if they're not worth what the value brings, and it costs better to apply for a grant, maybe tear it down or replace it with so we have a moratorium in the city on mobile home parks, right? But there's a certain way we can put a cement foundation and they weld the wheels off and they weld all the tires off and then they weld it to the foundation where it becomes a permanent house. And it becomes a permanent house, and you can do those faster than building a house, and we can do a lot of things like that in these areas.
So one of the things we found out when FEMA came through was that people don't necessarily own the property.
Yeah.
It's grandma's house, it was mom's house, it was passed down. And so that's one of the stumbling blocks for this grant is that they have to own the property.
Yeah.
And so if EDCB wants to invest, you can have somebody help them
Get the
clear
property
that
in
up,
it,
so
yeah.
they can have clear title of
To
it.
get their feet.
Sometimes they have 2 or 3 different homes on the same lot, but they should have been subdivided.
And it's the same thing like we did in the past when you did Paloma Place. We invest in that, so we're reinvesting in getting people these houses near us. And I spent 20 years driving this whole town, and I see it. And I can drive 2 or 3 streets and have 16 vacant houses that could need to be worked on or redone. And that's gonna help us as a community drive these vacant houses down for drugs, for things like, places they can take kids and do bad things to them, you know what I mean? And revamp them with people living in there and help our community, so.
I like how it says here, it says the principal and interest payment on a $100,000 loan at 1% interest over a 33-year term.
No, it's 38 years now.
It says, well, here it says 33, or only $297 per month.
Yeah, and so now you can go to 38 years.
And it says payments are adjusted
So you can
annually,
get those
but
mobile-
based upon the applicant's
Yeah.
annual income.
Yeah.
That's big time. And it does say that loans of over 150,000 or greater are possible.
Yeah.
I thought that was a
No,
really
this is it right here. They raised it to this.
And I do have to say,
To
the
287.
Congress
Yeah,
requires
to Wilson County.
was
They
he-
raised it to that now.
He contacted them and told them to make
And
sure
what we
they
got, I
contact
tell you what we got
all
lucky
those.
is he came down for that check for the police. He had another appointment and it got canceled. So me and Henry grabbed him, said, hey, let's meet in the back. And then from there, he called us the next week, if you saw the post we made, Tiffany came down, I think her name's Tiffany, right? She came down from Washington DC, his legislative team from Washington came down. And man, they just hit this ground running, they sent us emails. We sent them a thank you letter, an appreciation. And they said, what can we do to help? And because what he's doing is he's fighting for us to have these funds in Texas, and we gotta use them.
Really, really fun.
And these are appropriations, how hard is it to get on that?
Who is this?
Congressman Blair.
Yeah.
Yeah, Congressman Blair.
And the other thing that they told us that that the little girl, sorry, the young lady said
Yeah.
she's gonna send to us, is that they just passed, thing, and he's in the appropriations
Yeah.
bill, where they can do weatherization, to have air conditioning here, and other places, it's heating.
Yeah.
And that Texas got the lion's share. And
Yeah.
so depending on if you don't have air conditioning.
We can put ACs in homes.
They can put AC in homes.
We can go put AC,
So
$6,000,
she's telling me those
$7,000
don't
into
do
that.
Well, what, I'm excited, it doesn't seem what you guys are talking about, is there any restrictions as to the part of town or nothing?
No.
It's just based on
Your income.
economics.
Right here. There's your income.
Wow.
It
And that's where it should
doesn't
be,
matter
and that's where it
your
should
ethnicity,
help.
your status. And like I said, if the elderly does a seat order, they're gonna do that because they want you to have a good, healthy living.
Yes.
And what does the city have to do
But the city.
to qualify
What we want is,
citizens for this?
we want to sit down and have people to advertise it and have people, and we need to train staff on how to do like intake, which is unusual.
So a part of economic growth is you have to have good rooftops, good communities. So that's a part of like, as we work forward in our workshop, this is part of that, we want to do that improve our housing in our community. So I think this is an integral part of the economic growth of our
So
town.
when can someone apply for this?
They can do it now.
We can do it right now.
We can do it right now. The thing is that we want to set people up for success.
So we
he's
go
gonna
get a
come and
couple-
train us how to, these are the important things.
And he's gonna show us how to fill it out.
And then we can
Do you have a
duplicate that.
sample of,
Yeah,
yeah?
So we
and
can
then
make
we
sure
black
that-
out the names, and this is what you need, here's a copy of the bill, you need this copy of your taxes, so it looks like, because people like me, I'm a visual learner, so this is what it's like.
This question has nothing to do with this, but on mobile homes, what is the year,
16 years or newer.
16 years or newer? Somebody asked me that the other day.
Yeah, so if your mobile home is 16 years or older, you can bring it this.
Go ahead, Jim. This
Okay.
this is really good.
So that's just a before,
Okay.
so the downtown Christmas lighting, really, Charlotte's hit the ground running, she brought in a company. I think we're not ready to, we'll hopefully move forward, but she had a different, like I was thinking of lights, they were thinking about more permanent stuff where it light up the town that changes, and they install it like in our sidewalks in the future, where it has lighting, like it's like at the.
Flush lighting.
Oh, you have that pamphlet you can drive around. It's flush in the ground, so as they're ripping our sidewalks up, they put in these bulbs and you can walk on them, and then you just change at the end the filter, and it changes all the lights blue, or it changes them green, and it just lights up our downtown. And you can do, yeah, you can change the filters on them. So as we're putting our sidewalks in, we put these Christmas things in the future. So we had the guy come look, and like at the courthouse, they don't want nothing on their new courthouse because it's new, but if we can put them in the grass and get permission from them, it lights up the whole courthouse.
You can
from
walk
the
on
ground.
them, they can get wet, weather resistant.
Is it like those things that you buy for your own house with the?
Yeah, but
lights that change?
like, right now, this company did the Alamo, they're doing stuff out in
So
Kerrville right
then you
now.
have to ask the businesses, can I light your building up? We're gonna light it on our side.
Well, this year, we might just pay someone to come, not do a permanent lighting, just come and, hey, let's put some lights up, some LED or some light bulbs up, just for this first year budget. But with the overall effect, so we're not just spending $20,000 every year, $20,000, we invest in a long-term lighting program for our sidewalks
In phases.
in
It has
phases,
to be in
and
phases.
he can come out and do it,
Do the
so.
lights and then change it up for the season?
Yeah.
Do your Christmas and do your red or what?
They don't look like runways, and it's pretty neat, you got that thing you can pass
Not
around?
on me,
Oh, but yeah,
There's
so
nothing
We
to
get a
show.
proposal.
He's gonna email me this week.
so we do our sweet talking, it's normally like $750 just to your proposal. I'm like, hey, look, man, I'm on a shoestring budget, and he's like, well, we're gonna waive your fee, your proposal, because that's how they kind of get you, and they give you, and then it goes towards your bill, so they're just gonna work with us. So they drove all the way down from Kerrville, they were looking at some stuff and did some things here. So we're looking at just wanted to put that out there for our downtown lighting. We're looking at something more permanent. The downtown, committee, I think Kenny is really happy about this.
I'm excited.
I've talked to, like 7 different, business owners downtown. So we talked about branding, right? So if we're gonna say what our downtown's about, what are we gonna call it? Is it go shop by the peanut? Is it downtown square? Is it shops at 3rd and C? You know what I mean? So you can go pay a marketer tens of thousands of dollars to come brand it for you. But what better way to brand it than have this committee come together and we brand it ourselves. So we're gonna start having a committee of downtown people. So as we do these projects, they're on board as we move forward.
I just want to say that I think your parking lot bought us some goodwill.
And so-
We had a ribbon ceremony, so many businesses couldn't make it, but they all were like really happy that it actually happened. You know, that the park, because they were saying 10 years ago, they said, and it really just
So we got a
happened.
bigger.
So a lot of your businesses are happy to see this move forward, so they're
Do
going
we
to.
have a downtown committee where in the
do.
process?
He wants to create one.
But as we're trying to put sidewalks, you do it already. You already have it. You just lay the wire and do it.
You're
You
ready.
just say, what you don't want something done. you
Urban
do it.
Resource Centers.
Tell us how to do it so we can have it right there.
And so this committee, that committee is just a new committee we're starting.
You're gonna pick the members or what?
No, I asked for volunteers as we met. So like right now, Chris Trevino, Shirley from the hometown, I have Mr. Lissy. I've asked Kristen Weaver to become part of it with the Wilson County News. Ms. Moy from Arcadia Theater.
And Pat Brown said she'll.
Pat Brown said she'll help. I gotta go talk to a couple of the bar owners. I was gonna talk to Mr. Castro or some of them that had the bars down there. Try to get someone from every little
Put
section.
some color in there.
Mr. Lejas is gonna be a part of it since they bought the building.
How about gloves?
Yeah, Chris has already said yes.
I know what that is.
He was the first one I asked. So that downtown committee, and as we grow,
Dan likes to get a.
yeah, that's what I was gonna ask Dan to do. So,
For the downtown community.
so it's,
Did you come?
so it's, as we move forward, like,
What are you gonna, what are we gonna?
what are we gonna do with our upstairs? Are we gonna try to create lofts, things like that? So, okay, so we'll move on to Rancho Grande, Industrial Park.
Okay, what about that?
So, man, what a unique thing we've been through for years and years and years. And so we have one more retention pond that
Unique
needs,
is a good way to put it, right?
unique, it's a unique circumstance. So
Most proper, but anyway, you.
there's an oil company wanna go out there and they wanna build like a $3 million facility and they needed plats, right? So I'm like, I'll get you a plat, I got the maps in the back. Well, it ain't platted. So, we got.
One more time.
So we got, yeah, it was before my time. So the retention ponds were never done, the third one has to be done by a private owner out there. So we can't release a lien or a clear title until he does that retention pond, and then we can plat it. But even now, I talked to Sherman, platting it is a logistical nightmare because things have changed out there, properties change hands. So 2 other buildings, when you take a left out there at the first stop sign, on both sides of Rocket, 2 more companies that come out there. So I talked to Phelps, and they're just doing one-on-one contracts for easements, because they have to have easements to do electrical lines. So they're doing that on their end. So what we are gonna do is, we have a budget of $13,000 a year, and we are gonna go back and clean it up. I have a guy out there all week shredding. I'm talking 10-foot high, there's bales of hay back there, like 6 or 7 bells towards the back. It goes, I took I didn't even tell Charlotte I took the new cart truck back there, but man, I'm trying not to get the flat tire. There's a 20-acre retention pond in the back, our 10-acre one that's never been cut. So we're cutting it in phases right now, and the county will not cut the easements on the road. So the businesses, we've talked to business owners that cut to the highway. So the ones that are vacant, we're just gonna maintain it and make it look like industrial park. So as some of the new companies like Dumar and all them go out there, that whole road that's overgrown, we're cutting it right now. It's a 9-day difference. I got some photos I can show you. So we're getting that back in shape so we can maintain it, because it's what we built, and I want it, whatever we do for FEDC to look good. So I need your help on this one. I didn't know they were doing this. We were spending about $3,500 to $4,000 to create it's called a search engine on our website. It's called Search Available Properties in Floresville. The only thing with it is everybody is requesting to put their businesses for sale, even if they're outside the city limits. And I think it should only be inside the city limits, but they're putting it on here to promote their properties. I think the vision of what I want to change this to is, I don't have an action item, but what I'm going to change it to is it's going to be available properties by EDC in the city of Floresville. The city of Floresville's properties, we have properties, and I'm just going to promote those properties on there. Because every time someone makes a request, Drewer Design gets it, he charges us $2.20 an hour. It costs us $400 or $500 to put a property on there. And that's what MLS and brokers are for. And so I'm getting these bills, and I'm like, so I just put a stop to it, and I'm gonna change courses on it, and that available property is gonna be available properties for EDC and the city that they have. Because if they're gonna list with a broker, they can pay to get it listed on other broker sites and MLS as well. So that's the update on that site, where we're moving in that direction.
Excuse me, the lots out there across from the post office, 2 of them or so?
All
The
of
rest are
them,
not?
all of them but one.
Okay.
1.5.
The one in the back.
And I got some sold signs already.
Yeah, I
on
saw
order.
those, but I couldn't tell which.
Yeah, so, and actually, we can talk about future items, what else
Yes.
we're gonna do.
Just like
So, Henrietta likes this one. We talked about Riverbend Community Development, the RBCDC. It's the TIF board, I guess. We always had a city and an EDC member as part of it, but we haven't been a part of it in a few years. So, we have a meeting on September 18th. I asked I didn't ask, I just kind of, here I was talking and made some suggestions, and they've asked me to become part of that board so we can make sure that,
How much longer does that TIF exist?
like 40 years.
we had
2026.
Yeah,
our,
2026.
Colonel Perez was on that committee,
Yeah.
originally.
Historically,
The job
Tom-
with it.
Historically,
Tommy didn't want to
EDC
do it anymore,
Yeah.
and then Johnny refused to be on it. But I think
Things he didn't want to
as
do.
we grow, we need to make sure that it's being developed and we're in a loop.
Yeah, but historically, EDC has been a member of that
Mhm.
board, and so I just reminded them that the EDC needed to be a member of that board, and so now they're meeting.
Yeah, we're gonna meet here at City Hall on the
So
18th.
7 more years,
Yes,
and then the city starts collecting those taxes.
well, maybe, because they're still upside down.
Yeah, so we gotta make sure,
They're still.
They owe to the TIF?
Yeah, they're still upside down.
well, the guy won't let him refinance it.
They're not,
He's
they're
like
not
a-
collecting up to pay all of that, yeah.
Yeah, and he doesn't wanna release, they have the loan through, it's at such high interest rate, they can refinance it, not letting them, so. I wanna get in and ask some crucial conversation questions and figure out why he's not letting them refinance it, so we can get that thing paid down, so we can get those monies to the cities to later. So, anyways, that's where we're at on that. And then, the last but not least, I could have went on for days, and we had to cut it off, is the census training. So, we are census for 7,500-ish people in this community. We were 26 or 28%, 26%?
20% undercounted.
Undercounted last census, and we gotta get to 10,000. So we gotta get those 2,500 people trained, and it's even gonna be harder this time, because before they give you a paper packet, now you have to request the paper packet, and you gotta go online. So we talked about, we're having a census training on the 19th. It's great, they give you all these beautiful flyers, but no money. So me and Henry are gonna apply for a grant to help fund some of those flyers, some of those websites, get the word out. Because we gotta get to that 10,000, because 10 years from now, it's not gonna be in our business.
So
The
what
next
do
is,
we need to get the?
we gotta get everyone identified, we gotta get to probably about 95%.
10,000 of a magic figure.
Well,
Yes,
she can explain.
10,000 magic figure, because it allows us to go into a different group, and I can apply, and the city can apply for different things. And so that, for example, one of the grants we can apply for is called a safer grants, that we can get money for a fire department. But I can't, because we're not 10,000. And so, that number will be stuck with us once they release
For
the
till-
numbers in 2021 for 10 years.
Yeah. So this is very important, we're a year ahead, census comes out 2020, so we're, like we were talking about the parade, we just wanna plan and do it right. So we wanna start now, so we're having them come in with their directors, and we're gonna meet with them. I made the commitment with the EDC that it's very important that we're part of that process to get the census training.
And EDC is really important, as you talk about foot traffic, traffic for, vehicle traffic, they wanna know your number. They see us as little bitty small things, but Roy can tell you when we went around, I was surprised at how many people knew Floresville, had worked in Floresville, we're in Austin. But we look a lot bigger when we're at 10,000 or 10,500 people than we're less than 10,000.
So,
Cause I want Starbucks. Oh, sorry, I said that out loud.
yeah. So,
Chick-fil-A too. Okay.
yeah, so, that's just gonna be a stress and important moving forward, and we had that training step on the 19th,
It's here.
from 5 to 8.
Yes,
The
here.
3-hour training. So we've reached out to like the Lions Club. I'm gonna reach out to I'm supposed to go,
When's
when's
your
your
next
meeting?
women's meeting?
Third Monday?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's third Monday. So the 9th meeting, we're gonna go talk about that Lodi project. And then, maybe someone from the 9th can come be a part of that on the 19th, just so we can get that word out about this is how important it is, because word of mouth is gonna be the main thing on that. Let people know, like, and then so we talked about maybe getting a computer put up here. I have the computer that, we can get rebooted through documentation, and they can put it up here in the front, and then we can come do the online stuff here. Marietta can assign like a worker to come help them fill it out when they come in, so they can do online things. We can talk about the library, and the school's got a computer lab, so we can just make sure that they know these different places they can go, so.
Okay.
And then the last two that weren't on there is Stantec. Everything's been put in. Stantec, right?
Stantec.
So we're just waiting back to get the results back from Stantec. And if you haven't noticed, with the Veterans Monument, we replaced the flags. I hired that Derek Gottlieb from Freedom Mowing. He's a retired veteran mowing thing. So we had about $400 left in the budget. So he gave us a bid to cut the trees up. So right now, we just changed the canopy at 15 foot, so it doesn't hide it now. So that was done on Saturday. And the city was grateful to pick up the limbs and haul them off. And then now we're gonna pressure wash it tomorrow. So we're gonna pressure wash all the bricks and it'll look brand new. So maybe the city will pressure wash through it.
Good job. Let's go on to item 5, then.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, so this is where we got, where y'all, this is gonna be the directors, forum where you're gonna tell me the future items. So we make sure we tie up loose ends, we tie up, the property that we sold by the VA. We talked to maybe like buying it back, things like that. But anyways, I know it's running to 8 o'clock, but, workshops. We wanna create a strategic plan for the EDC, but we need to get our workshop done first so we can set our goals of like why we're working downtown, because this is what the board wants to do. Why are we creating these businesses? Why are we doing this industrial work? Because this is what the board goals are gonna drive us. I think that's very important. We gotta know what we wanna do. We did like a snippet of that like a year or so ago. We wanna do this more defined. So if we move our meeting to the 21st, I have Monday, October 14th, because we don't have to plan for a lot. It's really just coming together, just starting the talks of, what we want to work on, and then maybe creating another meeting, either like, I don't want to do like 3 Mondays in a row. So we got like November 4th or November, the Monday after that. So,
Is the city open on the 14th? It's Columbus
The
Day.
holiday.
yeah, so it's,
Columbus Day?
yeah, we're,
Okay.
Sorry, that's.
You're looking for a date on the workshop?
yeah, a workshop. I mean, it doesn't have to be a Monday. I mean, it's just, I know that's what people have done the best. If you want to go to your calendar in the back,
Mondays are good, but also they
October
don't
14th?
clash with something else. One of the things, if I may, I know I've said it many times, I just thought your workshop, Sylvia, on conflict of interest was very good. I'd like to have something like that on our things that we do here. And I would use, if you will, the TML as a source for creating a good course, if you would.
Yes, sir.
We have other things too, but I'd really like to spotlight, when we talk about a project, what do we mean by that according to the law?
Okay, we can get
We
you
can call
the
anything a
definitions
project,
and
but
everything
it
else.
doesn't mean that.
well, I know like when I was working at the
Just an
school,
example.
when I was working at the school, any project we did had to relate to one of your
But
goals.
the handbook, I think, is a real good source.
Okay, we'll do that then.
Okay, is the 14th good for everybody?
14th
14th
of
to the
November.
28th.
And that's why Monday?
Yes. 14th
It's a
of
Monday,
what?
yes.
And
October
October,
14th.
October.
that'll start at what time?
That's Columbus Day.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying, maybe the 28th, or the 28th.
Yes.
Do all your celebrations during the day.
We
Oh,
are,
you are? Oh.
well, I mean, the kids are off of school that day, so I don't know if people want to.
Do all your Columbus Day celebrations during the day.
We're gonna have our board meeting on the 21st, so
I used to work
We're
for a
on the
bank, so I
14th.
work post all the time.
that's what we're trying to figure. I was thinking the 14th to the
You
28th.
want to
I
the
would think that we
20th?
need to find out first, when is Sherry gonna be here?
The 28th.
That's true.
Mayor, will you
She
be
has
here
it
on
marked
the
out, so we
28th?
can't do it. She already has it marked out.
No,
Does the
because it's
28th
a
sound
holiday.
better?
I didn't think, I don't know, number
Real
14.
holiday.
Then, and we'll have an
Columbus
agenda,
Day, not a
we'll have
real.
some type of structure.
Very definitely.
All the
We'll have a
banks are
structure on the
closed.
meeting of what we're gonna discuss.
The 28th?
We'll have it broken down like the
20th?
corridor type stuff and then jobs, this and that, and then we'll break down what we think.
Events.
Yeah, events, things like that, what we want to be a part of, what we don't want. And then as we set our goals in the workshop, that's gonna drive our future projects. So we can relate back, okay, workshop, our goal A, goal 1, 2, that's gonna drive this project.
Okay.
What day did you decide?
The
28th?
14th?
Or-
And you don't have to start at 6, I mean, you could start earlier.
Just tell me. so
I mean,
I can
yeah.
put my calendar.
I should be here 5 o'clock.
Yeah, let's
3:30?
do 5 o'clock.
Ma'am, Miss,
Yes, it's a holiday,
Okay.
so I'll come.
okay,
Five
FEDC
Ducks, what
workshop.
is
Y'all
your-
start at 4? No, it's fine.
We ain't get no ducks.
5 o'clock?
What
I
time,
could
5?
finish it at 4.
What?
5?
Well, I don't want them to be long workshops. I want to do a couple of them. We stick to about an hour, hour and a half, like that. We just get to work, know what we're gonna do, in and out.
Okay,
Okay,
let's have a
FEDC
motion for the
workshop.
14th.
Because right now, it's just brainstorming the 14th.
Okay, I'll move so.
Okay, motion at 5 o'clock on the 14th.
I second it.
All in
Fred?
favor, say aye.
Enthusiastic.
All in favor?
Energetic.
Aye.
Say yes.
All opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
You can't motion and oppose.
One little thing here, and it's not here, but he touched on it. I would like to have Ben give us an update on all the things we've got working right now, where we are.
Past
where-
projects, or
Past
current,
projects.
yeah.
And everything that we've already approved and have started working, those not completed, where do we stand on each of those? And then if we need to fix some of them, what do we do?
What can we
You mean
do?
on the 14th?
Okay.
No, no.
I'm saying
No, just to,
under 5 here. It's
Oh.
not, it's not.
so
on
like
there.
I think what he's asking me to do is like, we sold that land over by the VA to do that building.
Right.
If she's not gonna build on it, do we reach out to her and say, hey, what do you plan on doing? You just gonna sell in the back? Like the Dumar property, where, we did this, where we at?
And the other schools even.
I think the Atascosa one, and then the one I wanna put on there, and I'm gonna go out and get some bids tomorrow, I was gonna do it, is, I went out today and I didn't realize it, I went to the depot, man, and it's bad. They've kicked in every single door at the depot, they've broken the things on the bottom, they're coming in, there's some needles in there, they've broken every window in there, some needles in there. So I'm gonna get with, I know we gave that over to the city, that's EDC project. I guess I could take that out. Is that a new development? That's a new development project. We have like $60-something thousand that we didn't spend this year. So I wanna go just board it up. We have $64,000 left over in new business development. So that's a new project I wanna take on with the city as far as getting that thing up and going. So, and finishing that project too. But I need, right now, for the safety of that area, we need to board it up. And then we actually brought it in as a EDC, so I think we owe that to the area to keep it safe